Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the CertiK Security Leaderboard. I'm happy to be taking over as your new host. My name is Jesse Leclerc. I'm a content marketing manager at CertiK. As you all know, in this showcase, I host a project for a live AMA where we discuss their work with CertiK, the Security Leaderboard, and we throw in some live questions from you, the viewers. Our goal is to raise the standards of security in the Web3 ecosystem. The Security Leaderboard found at CertiK.com is a free tool to help you safely navigate the blockchain world. Today, I will be joined by the Open Network, or TON. I'd like to introduce our guest, Justin, from the Open Network. Hi, Justin. How's it going?
Hey, Jesse. Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Could you just give us so TON is the Open Network. It originally began under the Telegram umbrella. Is that correct?
That's right. So the Open Network is a community fork of the Telegram Open Network, which was a blockchain developed by a Telegram team originally back in 2017. After the regulatory hurdles, which prevented Telegram from launching the mainnet, the testnet was then opened out to the open source community, in which many different teams have tried to do a successful community fork, but one team has sort of inherited the DNA of Telegram as it comes to the roadmap and among other things, the developments of it. So therefore, in 2020, April, when Telegram team officially seized the Telegram Open Network, the new TON team, which was rebranded to the Open Network, officially inherited the GitHub as well as ton.org, and the development has been continued on ever since by the community.
Great. Thank you for that background. And what is it about TON that made it clear you had to continue pushing forward with the development of the network, despite the regulatory hurdles, as you mentioned?
Right. So, personally speaking, so I got involved with the TON Foundation about a year ago, and my first entry point to TON Foundation and TON's roadmap was reading the white paper as well as the primer. And when I read the primer, I was very convinced that the project had a potential to be the next generation blockchain, which served multiple purposes. So it included specifics around Web3, as well as the world computer, which Ethereum was supposed to be, and it currently is.
Sure.
So, rather than it being like another ETH killer or another, super fast and scalable L1, which there are multiple blockchains there for, I would say, TON in its core roadmap, it contains things such as TON domain name service, TON proxy, and TON storage, which, is sort of like the holy trinity of a decentralized web. So you first inherit a blockchain NFT-based domain name. You are then able to interact with a decentralized VPN, kind of like the, Tor version of Web3. And then the last, I would say, part of the holy trinity in that regard is TON storage. So peer-to-peer storage solutions, which is sort of like the decentralized next version of IFPS.
Sure.
And so, having sort of read that vision of what Telegram was trying to do in its core roadmap, in addition to the application layer that invited developers to, build, other killer dApps and other massive use cases on TON, I felt that it was really a blockchain that was built for mass adoption. It was built for people who, inherited the sort of the DNA of Telegram being like, hey, I want privacy, you can get privacy. If I want use cases that are going to be for mass adoption, I can also get that here too. And so, that's what really drew me into the project. And, since my time 1 year into the project, I've come to sort of summarize what L1s need in order to achieve that elusive mass adoption keyword. And I would say it kind of boils down in my head to a few things, right? So one is you got to have an existing user base. You got to have applications that those existing user bases want to use on a frequent basis. And then lastly, if you want true mass adoption, you got to be able to interact with the application layers in a very seamless manner. So the end user really doesn't even know that he or she is interacting with the crypto rail, with the applications that they're using. So, all of this is really possible with our partnerships and ongoing interactions with the Telegram team in various different ways. So now I would say those are sort of the things that really motivate us to continue this push for this blockchain to be mass adopted.
For sure, that's a compelling vision, and I like the holy trinity way of describing it. It sounds like you've really aimed to bring everything into the one network, whereas like these things exist on Ethereum and on other networks, but in a very sort of fragmented way, whereas Ton is going for a seamless integration. And you do already have the user base. I don't know off the top of my head how many users Telegram has, but it's in the millions.
Right. So, the last count was we have 700 million monthly active users.
Wow.
The sort of the KPI is, by end of 2023, it's going to be like 1.5 billion counting. I would say, Telegram in its user base is the third largest when it comes to, like a messenger app with that amount of user bases, which doesn't spend a penny on marketing costs. So, that a differentiator as well. Yeah.
No, that's good. And so with regard to other social media platforms, how does Ton differentiate itself? I know that Reddit has recently introduced blockchain-based karma points, which run on an Arbitrum fork. So yeah, what's the approach there? Like, is Ton aiming to be the first mover, or what's the deal?
Yeah, so when it comes to other social networks, obviously they do have the advantage of the existing user base. But I would say that the key differentiator for the open network is in its ability to create applications that have a very sleek UI and UX. So if you think about sort of the journey of an end user, when they go to, for example, Reddit to earn these karma points via the crypto rail, they would still need to go through fragmented, I would say, process of working through those chains, browser extensions, standalone applications. One needs to still get a wallet outside. That process for the everyday user who doesn't even sometimes bother remembering their password, right? It's going to be very, very cumbersome. For Telegram and specifically for the open network, so we have what's called @wallet. So if you go to your Telegram and then literally type in wallet as a channel handle, you'll see that there's a standalone, there's a wallet inside Telegram that everyone has access to. And that wallet has actually been integrated as a native interface inside Telegram. So maybe towards the end of this, when I send the Ton coins to the lucky winners, I can kind of demonstrate how it literally exists as an attachment. So just like me sending a picture to you, right? I could literally send P2P Ton coin as well as other coins in the future. And we're going to open that up to third-party developers. That's the key. We're going to open that native wallet inside Telegram to third-party developers in the future for them to experiment on whether they want to build a dApp that has a web view integrated in Telegram, and they want people to use that as a crypto payment rail, or they want people to hold NFTs in that wallet to show as a profile picture on their application. I think that the possibilities really are endless. And the key word is that it's going to be very sleek and very, I would say, intuitive for people who are on the messenger sort of interacting with each other to be able to use that.
For sure. Yeah. No, that sleekness really it helps onboarding new users who aren't even necessarily coming for the cryptocurrency aspect, but then they discover the utility and they're on board. So, yeah, no, I understand that. And will Telegram allow users to purchase the Ton token using fiat within the app? Is that something you plan on doing?
So, I would say fiat on-ramps is it's an ever elusive problem for everybody. I would say rather than thinking of it as Telegram allowing this, the open network with the @wallet that has been built and integrated inside Telegram currently has a menu inside an option whereby if you click on it, I think the menu says buy crypto with the bank card. It really takes the users out to a few options. I think it's Neo Crypto, Mercurio, who are our on-ramp partners. And it really depends on which region the end user is in. Sometimes it says that it allows you to buy it, but it really doesn't. I think it's very region specific, and we don't have like a meta strategy for fiat on-ramp, but at the same time, we're going to be obviously partnering with all of the big names to ensure that getting Ton coin through, I would say, fiat on-ramp is as easy as possible and as seamless as possible.
Right. Yeah. And those fiat on-ramps are oftentimes out of the hands of the developers who are building. And that's a very complicated regulatory environment, depending on different jurisdictions as well. So I understand the challenges there.
I would say, actually, let me add on to that. So one interesting part of the open network is the fact that if somebody's interacting inside Telegram, sort of the basic KYC is already conducted. So users need to input their phone number, and users need to verify that that person is indeed the holder of that phone number. So we've had partners who approach us about, for example, fiat off-ramps, right? So let's say there's a creator economy built on top of Ton blockchain crypto rails. Somebody gets paid, 50 Ton coin, and they want to cash out immediately without having to go to a centralized exchange. There are partners who have proposed that after they've done the extensive research, anything in the amount of below $500, the Telegram's KYC, it really provides basic necessity for without having to, I would say, go through any type of burdens from a regulatory perspective. So those are all things that we consider when we approach those fiat on and off ramps.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. The sort of phone number verification, getting you to a certain level, and then if you're cashing out larger figures, then you're going to need more KYC. Okay. Great. And now we've heard some interest from users and everybody about a potential airdrop at some point in the future. Is that on the cards? And is there anything audience community members can do to ensure that they're eligible for that airdrop if and when it comes?
Yeah, I mean, we hold various types of airdrops. So the latest one that we had was in conjunction with our listing of Toncoin on Huobi exchange. And in order to follow such types of news, I would say the best bet is we're first and foremost Telegram maxis. So inside Telegram, if you type in Toncoin, literally our coin, Toncoin, you're going to see a community, English-speaking community of 600,000+ folks that you can join. And outside of that, obviously on Twitter, if you follow Ton_blockchain, we have about 160K followers, and we regularly post any announcements. If you follow those two channels, you'll be up to date. Yeah. Okay. You'll be up to date.
Great. Right. Yeah. No, that sounds like the best way for everyone to keep up to date on what's going on. Now, with regards to the United States, so will US residents be able to access Toncoin and the open network in general? Like, I know that regulation in the US can be a bit more tricky than other places. So what's the approach there?
So I want to go on record and say that the common misconception is that people cannot access @wallet if you're a US resident or if you have a US number. That's actually false, because if you type in @wallet or just wallet inside Telegram, you still, even if you have a US number or if you don't have a US number, you're still able to access that bot. The key difference between US users and non-US users is the ability to opt in to a native interface. So having the wallet appear as an attachments menu, sort of menu of options for you to send P2P. That's what is currently turned off for US users. But if somebody wanted to send Toncoin that they hold on wallet inside Telegram to another user, and if they're US based, they could still have that person's chat, literally type out, @wallet, and type in however many Toncoin that you would want to send peer-to-peer. You can still do it. It's just that it's sort of the generation 1 aspect of having to, cumbersome type however many coins that you would want to transfer P2P, which we're solving with the native interfaces. But I think the plan right now is to still keep it this way. And in the near future, we're going to also do opt-in to non-US numbers. So meaning every user on Telegram, without having to accept the conditions that come with adding it to your attachments menu, you'll just have it right away, like literally out of the box. Yeah.
Right. That's all part of that sort of seamless integration of the of Ton into Telegram. Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. And looking forward, so there's been a lot of interest in crypto gaming and the metaverse or metaverses. And so what's Ton's approach to partnering with gaming studios or metaverse projects for in-app messaging and monetary transactions as well?
Right. So, we're constantly seeking out great partnerships, whether it's gaming or, NFTs or any other verticals that you can think of. And, considering, I would say, how much mobile gaming has grown over the years, we're very interested in partnering with gaming studios that specifically want to build, those mobile mobile-centric games. And so, for example, like in Telegram, there's the company and project called Gamey, and people can play really simple games. And one of the issues that they had was, how do we interact? How do we get our 1 million monthly active users to be on the crypto rail. And as soon as the app wallet opens up to third-party developers, I think it's going to open up a very interesting use case for potential builders, game builders specifically. And rather than just confining this use case to simply payments and to simply like peer-to-peer messaging, I mean, you can think about like builders are welcome to build smart contracts that have special, certain functionalities. Whether it's in-app NFTs, auctions for those NFTs, transfers of those NFTs with certain conditions met. Those are all possibilities. And in fact, we have a venture studio called FS Labs that is actually building out the Steam, the Web3 version of Steam, all inside Telegram's interface. And so, there are things in the works, but at the same time, in order to sort of capitalize on the momentum of this mobile gaming proliferation on Ton blockchain, I would say, yeah, we welcome any types of partnerships, and we'd love to talk.
And the fact that it is an open source network means that anyone can build, anyone can create whatever they want and integrate that. So
correct, yeah. Right.
A lot of innovation going on and coming up, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay, and specifically regarding NFTs, why would somebody choose to release or launch an NFT project on Ton versus competing blockchains?
Right. When I think about NFTs, first and foremost, community comes to mind, right? You're a holder of an NFT and you want to be able to interact with other people who hold that same NFT collection, or you want to be able to interact with them for discussions of use cases, discussions of, what are different ways that this NFT project can sort of advance towards.
Yep.
Unfortunately, with the current model, you buy an NFT on one platform and then you're taken out to Discord, or you're taken out to other types of, community building sites, and you're forced to interact in a very, I would say, disparate manner.
Yes.
With NFTs on Ton, so our largest NFT marketplace called GetGems, so getgems.io, they already built a WebView application bot inside Telegram. So you're able to interact with the actual web. So just like OpenSea, you're able to interact, but in a mobile first setting. So buy your NFT, and then right away, you have a community. You have, a channel dedicated to your collection that you could talk to people about. And in the future, when Telegram and Ton, have different partnerships to allow showcasing of those NFTs, also allow for different types of, I would say, value extractions of those NFTs in a community-centric and Telegram-centric manner, it's going to be really a full stack solution for community building and to get your fans to not only just buy one NFTs, but to buy your next collection, to engage, with sort of the direction of where you guys want to go. I would think those are all advantages that we have over other projects.
No, that's super cool. I fully appreciate the advantages of keeping everything sort of integrated, and it makes it a lot easier for people, especially those who are new to crypto, getting into it, don't necessarily want to be signing up for 10 different Discords and all that sort of stuff. So
right.
It's a great onboarding solution, I feel.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about security, then we'll get into some live audience questions. So Ton is currently being audited by CertiK. I don't think the results are released just yet, but I wanted to ask, why did you choose to go with CertiK for your security audit?
Yeah. So, I would say first off, we partner with major security auditors across the board. CertiK, Trail of Bits, QuantStamp. But when we initially approached CertiK, I would say I personally was impressed with sort of the suite of products offered by CertiK, which ranged from full service audit. So we're getting a full scope audit from consensus to all the way to the nodes for Ton with you guys. Yes. And then there's also the added benefit of potential security dashboards and ongoing white hat support. And I would say CertiK was really, they saw the vision of what Ton blockchain could be, and they wanted to sort of develop that relationship early on, with the foundation, and to really think of different ways to add value across the board. And so we were really impressed with that fact. Yeah.
That's great to hear. Yeah. And once the audit is released, Ton will be up on Skynet, and we've got some great new features and dashboards and everything. So users will be able to really take a deep dive into the metrics and everything relating to TON, and look at the audit report, look at our findings, look at how you guys acknowledged and fixed any issues that may or may not be found. So yeah, no, looking forward to having you guys on the leaderboard. Last security question. So how did you incorporate secure practices into your development? And this is like writing the code before deployment as well as post deployment. And obviously Skynet and tracking solutions are a big part of the post deployment, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so we're not like a typical, VC chain that, we don't have a journey, I would say, that's like pre-deployment that had a bunch of like, documentation around what we did around security practices. However, that being said, from our current development standpoint, I mean, we're of course running, your classic bounty programs. And through that, we were able to have the community sort of really crowdsource around, finding bugs, proposing, GitHub like pull requests for, certain things that they found. So it's really a community effort first and foremost. Yep. And then, obviously there's also the white hat support that CertiK partnership will bring. So we're considering, we're currently going through, I would say, scope of what that entails and how that's going to allow us to sort of post deployment. Well, we're already deployed first and foremost.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, yeah, the blockchain is up and running. We're listed across the board, but I think, one of the developers, interesting that he said a while ago to me was, TON, given how different the architecture is when it comes to, scalable blockchain, it's going to have very different attack vectors than say Ethereum, which has gone through, the tried and true, audits, as well as like many different types of attacks before. So we're definitely, aware of, I would say, the unknowns, right? So those are the kind of things that I would say we would want to make sure that we work really close with guys like CertiK to make sure that as soon as those things come up, it can be sort of, the fires can be put out without having to have too much, damage to the community and things like that. So
for sure,
yeah,
security is such an important aspect, and it can really, it can make or break some of the best projects. So it's great to see you guys taking it seriously and partnering with us and working with security as a general approach to your whole development.
Right.
We've got some great community questions we can get into, and I know you wanted to demonstrate a feature as well, so we can do that. First question is regarding TON storage. And so is this a Dropbox like application? How secure? What's the security aspect of TON storage? And this is from Telegram user Polypoop.
Yeah. So if you can spell out his Telegram username later, I'll be able to demonstrate how I can send the TON coin to him P2P super easily.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I mean, so TON storage is sort of like, think of it as, the Web3 version of ISPS. I would say the security aspects comes from the fact that, like when our core team is writing out sort of the core development behind TON storage, they're considering into factor all of, I would say, our coding language. So like FunC when it comes to developing the smart contracts to allow for the TON storage. And, I would say from a security standpoint, it's very secure in the sense that it's truly peer-to-peer, right? So you're not really, once you have it through, like, once the holy trinity is met with TON storage and TON proxy. So when people are able to sort of access the decentralized VPN and turn on sort of the Tor network version of what TON blockchain is trying to do, it really allows for people to sort of, peer-to-peer send storage without having to be sort of exposed when it comes to your VPN, your location and stuff like that. So, I mean, that aspect to me, for personally speaking, is probably the most secure when it comes to, personal peer-to-peer storage solutions.
Right. Yeah. It's a great answer and a great question. So that was from, we'll go to the, we'll do the reward live on screen right now. So the Telegram user is POLY. Poly P. Yep, sure. Trying out a new feature here, so we'll see how it goes.
Yep. POLY.
POOP.
Oh, OOP.
Oh, sorry. So it's POLYP.
Oh,
POOP now. Yeah,
POOP.
that's it.
This one, Orhan. Okay.
Yes.
All right, and I believe we agreed on 30 Toncoin, correct?
30 ton coins. I think that's correct. Yes.
So
you click
yeah, you
wallet
can see.
right there. Yeah.
Yeah. So just like I can access my photos and documents, I now have a wallet inside because I opted in to this feature. So I click on at wallet. I can send Orhan here 30 tons, all literally within 3 steps.
Wow,
so yeah, now if I go to my wallet, at wallet, I can see that I issued 30 ton to this person, and Orhan should be able to open up at wallet for himself and click on menu. And when they click on main menu, they can see that, you know, they can open up their wallet, they can see checks that they've issued, they can open up the web app as well. Yeah.
Great. And they don't need to claim that. That's just automatically in their wallet. There's it's
correct.
Seamless. Okay, great.
Very seamless. Right.
Yeah. It's a cool feature. Okay, let's go to another audience question. Now you've touched on this a little bit, but I think it's an important point. So let's just why is TON said to be a vertical blockchain, and what benefits does this bring, particularly relating to DeFi? This user is asking about.
To DeFi, yeah. So the vertical scalability, not so much vertical blockchain, but vertical scalability comes from the fact that there's two, the big concepts behind TON blockchain as one of the most aggressive forms of sharding out there. So there's the concept of dynamic sharding, and there's the concept of infinite sharding paradigm. Both of those dictate that the number of shards is not limited to a fixed number, and also the number of shards can expand and contract as the load dictates. And so the vertical scalability comes from not only users being able to, I would say, create dApps that potentially onboards millions of users and creates billions of transactions, and the load is able to handle that vertically through the expansion of the number of shards, the work chains, and also contraction of the work chains in the case that the load is actually smaller. And so, from a scalability standpoint, DeFi, if it's really meant to be sort of a decentralized finance for all, not just high niche use cases across like liquidity pools, that it's sort of a gaming finance gaming thing that crypto natives have sort of, I would say, taken advantage of recently. But if we think about potential applications of DeFi across TON, I mean, first and foremost, users who are users of Telegram in various parts of the world, the capital efficiency that they can tap into from a DeFi standpoint across the pond, right? So capital markets in one country, users being able to put up, collaterals, users being able to put up any type of maybe like interesting, like, AMM based, like money market lending type stuff. The fact that so many people will be able to tap into that, it fits along with our idea of creating a blockchain that's highly scalable, that's highly chartable. And so DeFi is going to have probably the most number of users when it comes to interactions across the blockchain, which is why that it's been made that way.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So we're coming up on our time limit, but I just wanted to ask if so where can users find more information about TON and the open network?
Yeah, absolutely. So, if you visit ton.org, so it's ton.org, that's our main website where we sort of showcase everything from primers to developer documentations, all the way to where you can find the community. And outside of that view, inside Telegram, as I've iterated before, if you type in our native, coin name, so Toncoin, you'll start to be on that journey of finding different channels, community channels, finding the official channel that talks about the development of our blockchain, and users can really start that journey inside Telegram and sort of meander through it. So
Telegram,
those are the two, right.
With that whole like vertical integration and seamless experience, Telegram is the one-stop shop for getting involved. Okay, great.
Right.
Great. Yeah, no, this has been a great discussion. I hope everyone has learned a lot about Ton, and it was great that we got to see a demonstration of how the wallet works and how quick and easy that was. So thanks for that, Justin. That's all we have left for today. So I want to thank Justin and Ton for coming on the show. Everybody, thank you for the great questions. Sorry we didn't get through all of them, but we had quite a list of good questions. Be sure to like and subscribe to the show, and we will see everybody next time. Thank you.
Thank you.